What's up, Final fans? It's the Warrior of Hype, and this Thursday is the next info drop for Final Fantasy XVI, featuring 20 minutes of new gameplay. I'm excited. I know you're excited, and we know that one of the main focuses will be the RPG elements of the game. So, I'm going to switch over to Twitter. I asked everybody on Twitter, what RPG elements do you hope to see more of? What are some RPG things that you've hoped to see revealed? And I got a bunch of replies. Thank you guys so much for that. But I'd like to do at Peripheral Ghost, who feels like it'll mostly be about skill tree stuff and altering ability sets. And this makes sense to me. I think it's time to showcase that Final Fantasy V job class inspired icon ability system that will be at the backbone of Final Fantasy XVI's combat. What will it be like to master an ability of an icon and then use it with a different icon? What is the strategy here? Is it more than just finding the movesets that you like best? Will there be challenges that encourage the player to try new combinations in order to best the enemy? Now, at DC Kana says, wants to see more about stats and how it will impact the gameplay. I think we're all hoping to get that one thing out of this info drop: depth. Is there more to the combat than just good timing to dodge and parry attacks and, performing stylish combos? Is there more? DeBest wants to know about status ailments. Will we have to contend with things like poison? It's a classic Final Fantasy thing. We just haven't seen it yet as far as I remember. Maybe we have. Correct me in the comments, but I don't think we've seen any status ailments, which is weird because we are fighting a Marlboro in the Awakening trailer, and we know what they are capable of. Will we get inflicted with things like, a slow status that will hinder the recharge of the iconic abilities? That's just me thinking off the top of my head. Will we see things like that? Now, Justice Van Cho says, Justice Van Cho wants to know if Torgal and AI party members will be able to level up as well. Now, that is a good question because I'd like to take a look at this image here. As you can see in this screenshot of the attributes menu, Clive's name is written under the word attributes, and it looks like, that UI, that user interface for a drop-down bar. You can click on that bar, and usually you have that little caret, and then when you click on that, it'll drop down and the caret will point down. You guys know what I'm talking about. So if it wasn't an option to manage others, why would they include that in the user interface? We know we're going to be talking about Clive. But we also know that we've seen a character from the official Japanese website named Wyvern that we're fighting or are playing as. I'm sorry, maybe at the beginning of the game. And anyways, so there's a drop-down bar. Maybe it just looks cool. It says Clive, but it has me questioning it. So maybe we'll be able to manage the abilities and equipment of other party members, or maybe even Torgal. That's a good question that I have. I wonder if we'll be able to equip Torgal with different things. That would be cool. And you can see at the bottom right hand of this menu that it says party members, and it's Clive and Torgal. So that was just something I wanted to point out there. Now I want to go over to YouTube. We have Jake Simmergen, who says, I think the big thing left that I just need to see more of is an in-depth look at the side content and how it functions. What types of side quests can we expect to see? Clearing of an optional outpost, fetch quests, entire side dungeons, and etc. I just need to know what to expect quality and content-wise, and a look at the larger cities as well. Now, this is a big question that I've had as well, to be honest with you. Large areas that we've seen at the PAX East panel look Wonderful. But what about exploring those beautiful locations? Will it be rewarding to trek every inch of the space like you know we will? Explore every nook and cranny? Will we stumble upon more than just a nice item or something similar to that, but rather a secret dungeon or a secret area that maybe you wouldn't have found if you didn't do this? Something that's rewarding like that. We know that Clive will embark on hunts, which will hopefully lead to unique and fun, impressive battles against enemies that are separate from the main story. We've seen a lot of green markers on the world map that indicate side quests, and the devs even said that the side content will nearly double your playtime if you wish to complete it at 100%. But what does that side content entail? I think that is what we need to know at this event. Now, I've read interviews speaking of the significance of side quests and being more than just fetch quests. So that is something to note. It is more than just fetch quests, and I hope that means the God of War inspirations expand into this aspect of the game as well, and how those side quests served only to further flesh out the characters and the world building of that game. Some of the best side quests in gaming, in my opinion. I love it. It felt so significant to do them, but wasn't like a necessity. Now, we've been told that the settlements will improve and grow as you complete the story. So I wonder how that will be. Do we get to choose where the shops and shelters go? Are we talking about like Assassin's Creed 3 type thing where you get to improve your settlement that way? Do we get to upgrade and see that represented visually, and as well as through the benefits it offers? Like, if I upgrade a shop, do I get to purchase better gear? That kind of thing. I'm sure that's what's going to be talked about. Now, over on Twitter, we'll go back to Twitter and go up. We got Baby Seal joking that a 40-hour minigame that is just a full-fledged sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics would be awesome. And yeah, you know what? It's funny, but it does bring up a good topic. What about minigames in a world inspired by medieval Europe? What about tournaments? Chocobo jousting, archery, dueling. Come on, there's so many great things here. And we know that Clive won a ducal tournament to become the first shield of Rosaria. So what I'm saying here does exist in this world in some capacity. But I imagine, and this is where I'm going to like kind of put a downer on all of this. I imagine that these tournaments are going to be, put on hold due to the state of the world, due to the state of things in Valisthea. I just think Chocobo jousting is such a cool friggin' idea, and it needs to be implemented into a Final Fantasy one day, and this just could be a missed opportunity for Final Fantasy XVI based on its setting. But we do know that Chocobos are there. How about Chocobo racing? It's a Final Fantasy staple. Now, over on Twitter, Lindsay Toddy says, I'm curious if Chocobo catching and breeding mechanic and how we can customize the look of our Chocobos. Even suggesting customizing them is a great idea, but I do believe that could be reserved for Rebirth. That's something that I've been theorizing. But man, if it's in Final Fantasy XVI, can we customize our Chocobos, or can we find different kind of Chocobos in the wild? And when you catch that Chocobo, that's yours now, right? Like maybe you even get to name it. I don't know, man. But it just would be cool. So we've seen these Chocobos in the wild at the PAX East demo. We've seen them kind of walking around the large open areas. So how do we tame them? Again, Yoshi P specifically said, due to the world being in such a terrible place, Final Fantasy XVI won't have the heroes doing things like fishing or blitzball, as you use an example. So that may also apply to Chocobo racing? I'm getting the feeling that minigames in this game are going to be limited to the arcade mode to set high scores, and the other hunts, if you want to classified that as a minigame. And then they also mentioned something like being restricted on your icon abilities and, you know, forcing the player to adapt maybe to just using one icon, or maybe limiting that to maybe even no icon abilities, and you have to kind of do a task. That kind of mini game style may be what we see in Final Fantasy XVI. So yeah, mini games is something that I would love to hear about at this event. And if there's anything more that we haven't seen yet, you know, it just could be a slightly disappointing omission in this entry of Final Fantasy if mini games aren't there. But yeah, so what else can we see aside from the RPG focused info? We've seen that producer Naoki Yoshida and localization director Koji Fox closed out the PAX East panel by saying that Final Fantasy XVI's battles are exciting, unique, and can be unorthodox at times, and they have more to show us in the future, in the very near future, to quote him exactly. The very near future means probably this month, or this Thursday to be exact. So it's possible that the next info drop can be accompanied by a new trailer showcasing some more gameplay. I mean, we do know that we're getting 20 minutes of gameplay that's never been seen before, but maybe this new trailer is going to be something, you know, I don't know, really exciting. For me personally, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to see anymore, because it's kind of, you know, getting into spoiler territory. The PAX East thing was kind of a little spoilery when they showed the icons and the different kind of battling that you're going to get with the icons. That kind of felt like a spoiler to me. But yeah, I don't know, man. What do you want to see at this event this Thursday? It's exciting times. I want to hear how excited you are for this. It's only a month and a half, maybe, no, 2 months away. We're about midway through April, and God, it's just around the corner, man. Do you think we're going to get a demo? I don't think so. I think it's too early for the demo. Yoshida said 2 weeks before the game came out, not 2 months. So I think we can I'm going to shut myself down on that one. I don't think we're getting the demo. Yeah, I think maybe we'll get a tease about tune into the PlayStation Showcase that's going to be in the summer. I mean, this is at a PlayStation State of Play, so maybe they want to kind of like announce that the showcase is coming at the State of Play. Could be a thing, you know. Like maybe Sony's like, all right, let's put that out there. You know, tune in May 30th or early June, and give us a date. The showcase will have more Final Fantasy 16. And then, of course, that's when they'll drop the launch trailer and the demo for everybody to play. That's my thoughts on this. What do you guys hope that Final Fantasy 16 shows? What do they need to show you to really just kind of push you over the edge of the fence to get on the side? If you're watching this and you're just kind of like, man, I'm not completely sold on it yet. What is it that you want to see? This is the moment to sell it on you. You know what I mean? This is the moment. This is the RPG aspects. This is the Final Fantasy DNA. They're going to talk about it this time. I'm so hyped. See you in the next video. Thank you very much. I actually probably won't. You know, I won't see you. I'll be staring at my camera, and you'll be staring at your screen. So, anyways, I'm going to stop talking now. These are unedited videos. So, this is what happens. Anyways, take care now. Bye-bye then.